Hello, and welcome to a brand new episode of Monday Night Therapy. I'm your host, Minnie Hunt, and with me tonight is my dear friend, Fred Sacco. And look at him, you guys. Does he scream Nebraska?
He screams a
Does
lot of
he?
things, but that's one of them. Yes.
Fred, you look so good.
Thank you.
When I got on the street, I'm like, whoa, okay, this is totally we're legit now. This is this is so cool.
It's
So
high
your
production
background,
values. We are all over it. Yes.
I tell you. Your background is Memorial Stadium, and
Mhm.
you're wearing a collared Nebraska shirt.
Vintage 2000, year 2000 Husker Adidas shirt.
Really?
Hmm.
I love vintage.
Yep.
Is that why it has that black collar with the design on it?
Yep. It's like I don't know. I can't really. Yeah. It's like a
A
jagged line.
sable.
Yeah. It was kind of like a Southwest type of thing they did. I don't know why, but yeah, that was the shirt. That was back when I had hope and I would buy a new coach's shirt every year. So, yes.
Oh, so did you ever buy the red pants,
No,
the Tom
no.
Osborne?
I'm short and round, and I would just look like a tomato in red pants. Even I have limits. I'm not Greg. Greg would probably do that, but no, it's always khaki shorts for me and Husker shirt.
Nice. Yeah, very, very nice setup, I have to say. I had to settle for black because I brought one red dress and it's dirty. So,
Uh,
hmm
a nation mourns. I think we'll get through it.
I think we will. I think we will. But I can't wait to get back to my Nebraska setup and I'll be back. Let's see. Today's my actual last full day at the beach. So,
Hmm.
goodbye, tan.
Well,
Hello, indoors. Because I'm not going outside in 110-degree weather in Arizona.
oh, it's only 110. Yeah, I guess
Hmm
that's a little warm.
What is it? What is it in Nebraska?
We had 102 yesterday and 101 like the day before. It was it was pretty warm in the sun. But it was strange because it was very windy and the wind made it nice. So I was outside all the time. Just it felt great. So it was decent.
That is nice. Yeah, if the wind's blowing, it makes it so much better.
Hmm.
Well, Fred, we've got a couple of commits as of today, which is so interesting that we got two in one day, don't you think?
Yes, yeah. It's. I mean, we've talked about it before, and we'll mention it again. Sometimes the commitment doesn't mean as much as it used to, but two in one day at this time of year, that's nice. We'll take it.
I know. And let's see. What it did is it brought us up from the 2026 class to nationwide from number 74 to number 61.
Hmm.
And usually we're in like a top 25 class.
Eh,
I think that we're headed there now.
we're getting there. I mean, I think it's still going to fall on the staff to develop people. As it goes. I mean, they rank the star rankings are what they are, but sometimes I think they're about as meaningless as the commitment dates because you just don't know. And so with all the transition, it's we're lucky to get what we can get sometimes. I think, and then we just got to make do with who we have. So, and that's why I like this staff. It feels like they can do a little bit more with people if given the time.
I think so. Okay. First, I got to say hello to the people that are here because that we would be nothing if not for, I mean, Fred, you and I both came from, shall we call it the down unders,
Yeah, that's it. Start at the
Pleasantville.
bottom. Here we are.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. From the chat. So Roger Moore is here, and usually he's third, but he says go Big Red. And then I noticed that you were here second. Joe Lakis, guess that makes him third, but Fred's already using his powers. And he said, by the power vested in me, Joe is now second. I love it. All right. And then Jackson, our buddy from Alabama, Roll Tide.
Ah, double
is
J.
here. Yeah. And Joel Lakis wants to know, Minnie, beach or shore? Is there a difference?
That's what I wondered when I saw that too, but I'm not a water person, so yeah, that's a hell of a question. I'd Greggle it, but
I
my
think
phone's way over there. So
I know. I think he lives in Florida, so he should know if there's a difference between a beach or a shore. I assume a shore is like obviously it's back, not in the Gulf, right?
hmm, maybe he's
But
asking your preference, beach or shore.
I'm on an island and it has beach in the name, so I don't know.
I think you got a
It
beach.
is. It's both in my mind. And then Aaron's here. He says at least two more, including one flip coming this week. Okay, Aaron, seriously, what's that teaser all about? Didn't you say something? There's a guy who went to school with another guy who's coming. Maybe we'll throw out the link if I can do that, if Fred allows me to, because
Go
in the
crazy,
past
Greggle away.
I don't know if it works out so well if there's more than one guest on the show. If you guys like that, I mean, I'm willing. Yes, please. I want everyone to partake. But let me know what you think. And then our buddies over at Polyjam are here. Go Big Red. So thank you for being here.
Greg's
And
watching
even
sitcoms, it looks like, from the chat. So now we know what he does on Mondays.
what does he do on Mondays? He watches sitcoms, Friends.
Friends, apparently.
He probably does. I'm sure
Doesn't
he does
surprise me in the
actually.
least. Doesn't surprise me in the least, that guy.
All right. Well, oh, what does he say? I've got to go pick up my boys. So make this the most interesting 10 minutes of the show. Okay, here we go.
No. Minnie, put on a beard. It's all on you.
I didn't pack any beards, damn it.
Oh, did you see? So, talking about Akron,
Mhm.
they run a 4-2-5 defense, pistol offense. Do you know their head coach's name? The coach for Akron.
No, tell me.
Oh, I was hoping you'd Greggle it.
Okay, I will.
Okay, really quickly.
Yeah, Akron head coach.
Mm-hmm.
He's the only one I didn't get.
I
Because we're
forget.
going to be talking about the first three games.
Yep.
Joe Moorhead.
What was the last name again?
Moorhead?
That's for Greg. There you go. There's your 10 minutes, Greg.
What? What?
It's okay.
Oh my God.
Wow. Walked right into it. This is why you invite me on. Beyond that, yeah, if you want to talk, well, let's talk the commitments first and we can go back to the teams.
Let's
and
do that.
what they
Okay,
do.
I'm gonna throw up a picture real quick. Here's our 2026 commitments. Let me get this on. All right. So here are our 8 commits that make us, what did I say, number 61 in the country now?
Yes. Jumped up a little bit.
Yeah, look at that. Did you see that today we got our highest commit for the class, Danny Odom, cornerback from Florida.
Orlando, yeah. I remember,
And
I
we
don't
also,
follow it so much, but I remember that name. So that must mean he's somewhat good, I guess, if you hear about him more than once. Why do we have Dayton listed in there? I mean, well, I guess he's already committed. So, or is that just so we can get a Riola in the first 5 minutes of the show?
yeah, I inserted that one.
Okay.
Just for you.
Thank
Just for
you.
you guys. No,
I
because
appreciate it.
he's a 2026 commit. He was like the first one. That's why.
That's true.
Yeah, and look at those guys. We've talked about all of these guys, but we're going to talk more about the 2 commits that we got tonight. I'm sure we'll talk more about them on Thursday. But it's kind of exciting that, it looks like we're going to be getting like 6 more-ish, possibly.
Not bad.
Which is, yeah, that says a lot because, we have the 105 roster limit that is now going to be taking place going forward. So you have to be really careful about the guys that you're making offers to.
No, definitely. And amazing hair on that Hayden Ainsworth kid. That's stellar. It's
Aren't you
like
jealous?
almost like a hat. Yeah, I never had hair like that even when I was like young. That's something else.
Well, Greg, or
Rex
not
Waterman
Greg.
looks he
I
looks
just
like
called you Greg.
he looks like a caveman. That's good. Offensive tackle. Oh, and he's
You
on
know what?
Arizona. You stalked him?
I'm definitely going to. I'm going to some of his games this season for sure. Friday night games.
Nice.
Yeah, because he plays at Hamilton High School and they play Liberty, so that's not too far from where I live. So I'll definitely go there
Yeah, if you could
and
get on
watch
the
him.
chain gang and then get a knee circumference for us, that would be great. You could use
You know
both.
what? I was looking at his picture. You guys laugh at me, but you know how I said, do tall people have to duck to get through a doorway? He
Mm.
is taller than his doorway that he took a picture in front of for us. He's taller. So I know
Does he
it
live
says
in a
he's 6'5", but yeah, he's tall. With
lives in a
shoes on, he
tiny
must
house
be like
apparently?
6'7".
Huh. I like the look of him. He looks mean. We could use that.
I love him. Oh my gosh, he's like my favorite. Out of this list, if I were to choose just one, he would, besides Dayton, obviously Dayton's the top. Rex Waterman would be my number one choice.
Say he's a 3-star. But that's something they can work with. And he's 295, so that means he's got a little room to grow. Or they can lean him up a little bit if he's a chubby 295, but he's 6'5". So hopefully he's not that skinny fat that Scott Frost used to always talk about.
I didn't know that was a term for football players. Tell me about it.
Yeah. He said a lot of our guys were skinny fat when he got here. But, you know,
Oh my
whatever.
God. Did he really say that?
Yeah. Yeah. So it was like they were tall but flabby, basically, I think was the explanation for that.
You know, I've heard people like women be described or describe themselves as skinny fat, like they're skinny girls that have fat
Mm.
on them. Um, but I've never heard a football player being described as skinny
Yeah,
fat. This is a
Frost
new
could have
one.
been talking about some of its dates too, for all we know. That's possible. Not entirely sure. But yeah, I
Hey,
remember that term and it just stuck out because it was just,
let's see here. We have one of your buddies in the chat here.
oh, two
Looks
of them.
like two.
Matt
Okay,
and
Matt.
Chuck. Yeah.
I know Matt. Fred is back again. And Chuck, is that Chuck Day? Chuck
Yes.
Day has a story or two that we're gonna have to like pry out of his
Never
fist
ever.
that he's
Nope.
clenching there. Because he hints around to the something that you did in Target after we won a game, something.
Chuck has a massive head injury from years ago and it just never healed. So he comes up with these imaginary stories about me. It's very odd, but I
Okay.
I keep him around. He's okay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't
Yeah,
Gretna, Chuck. It was Nebraska City, but that's all right.
he keeps saying Gretna.
Oh
He
boy.
keeps saying that. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do, Chuck and Matt and anybody else that would like to join us. I'm gonna put the link in the chat because Fred okayed it. And although sometimes I feel bad because I just want
It's
to,
it's your show. Do whatever you like. I'm here for the ride, so it's all good.
is it? Is it really?
It's all good.
It's not Greg's show, you sure?
Monday isn't no. Thursday is Greg's show.
Yeah, let's be clear on that. Okay, so there's the link. And okay, so we went through our 8 commits. We have a couple of offensive linemen. We have we have a defensive back from today. We have a wide receiver. I don't remember talking about him. How do you even say his name?
It's like Davion Bonwell Witt. I had not heard of him either, actually. Huh.
I know,
Sioux
right?
Falls. That's just up the line from us, about 2.5 hours.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's what I thought. Okay. And then linebacker. Yeah, we're looking pretty stout right now. And we do have somebody who would like to join us, believe it or not.
Uh-oh.
Brave soul. Here we go. Joe Husker, welcome.
Joe Lakers.
Oh, hey, Joe.
Joe Lakers.
Hi, guys.
Hey.
Nice to
Welcome.
finally meet you.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Thanks.
Nice
I'm
to
just
have
zooming
you.
in on your Husker background you got there.
Beard look good.
Say that again.
No beard look good.
You look old. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Because of your white beard?
Yeah.
Kind of
That's
Santa
because
Claus?
I am old.
Okay. Well, actually, I think you've told me a couple of stories dating back to like even the 70s. Isn't that right? Is there a delay?
Yep. I can go back to the 50s and 60s with stories.
Wow.
Oh, wow. He's older than you, Fred.
I know. It's amazing. There's somebody out there older than me. Who would have thought?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so Joe, you're the one who first said it. So I'm going to put these comments up. Polly Jan says you're Husker Claus. Can we have a ho 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 go big red? I think there is a delay.
There must
There we go. And Nebraska strong, Husker Claus go big red. There we go. Awesome. So I think you have a delay on your stream there. Do you have more than one thing open? More than one stream?
It's possible.
Fred or me?
Santa Claus. Husker Claus, I mean.
No, so it's the only stream I have is this one. I don't have any other streams open.
Okay. All right. Well, it's a little delayed, but that's okay.
We'll work with it.
It's very accurate too.
Did you have any questions or comments that you wanted to just put in here?
The only thing I wanted to comment was when they laid out the new turf at the field,
Mm-hmm.
they switched to Huskers and Nebraska.
Did they really?
Oh, I didn't realize.
Yeah, they put Huskers in the north end zone, in the south end zone.
Yeah, I think Greg said something like it bothered him because it wasn't reversed. I wonder why they did that. I wonder why they switched it. Do you know why?
I have no idea. No clue.
I think it shows that the fan base is slipping because normally when changes like this are made, everybody freaks out. I didn't even know that had happened, so that's pretty wild. As long as we have no surrender whites, I think we're okay though. Flip the end zones. Doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so Husker Claus, Nebraska strong, go big red, wants us to have a Husker championship for Christmas. Do you think, Husker Claus, that could happen?
Thumbs up. Thumbs up. Thumbs up.
If we're all good, is that what we're going to get in our stocking this year?
Yep.
But is that going to be for this Christmas or like a Christmas like long, far away from now? That's my question.
You're not allowed to ask that.
No, I'm an OG doubter or whatever you called me, so it's okay. It's my job.
Well, I'm gonna say it here for you guys. You guys heard it here first. Nebraska's gonna beat Michigan.
And
they will beat USC. And when they go to Happy Valley, the state's not gonna be happy.
really,
Okay, I hope so.
that would take care of most of our schedule, most of our toughest opponents. So I hope you're right. What we're talking about tonight, Husker Talk, Husker Strong, Joe Husker, I'll get it right, is we're talking about the first 3 cupcake games. Cupcakes. Should we consider them cupcakes? We're talking about, I love it when this happens. I love when I have confetti falling. Let me do this again. Okay. Should we, balloons now and confetti. It's a party. Okay. Should we consider the first 3 games cupcakes?
Yes, we should.
Oh, yes. What do you
Even
think?
though Cincinnati, I watched a few things, and a lot of people say Cincinnati could be closer than we think, or I just can't see it. They were 5-7 last year. They lost 5 straight. They were going to be bowl eligible. All they needed was one more win, and they lost 5 straight. And maybe they'll get it together, but I just was reading about them, and nah.
I'll be honest with you. The Cincinnati game gives me angst.
It does me too. It does me too. And I'm gonna just go ahead and remove you from the stream here because I think it's slowing things down. But I wanted to thank you for coming on.
Here's my Kool-Aid.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Well, cheers. And go Big Red. Thank
Cheers,
you,
Joe.
Santa.
All right. Thanks. Dude. Knock me out.
All right. Okay. So that was nice of.
No, it was great to see him. Yeah. Never ever saw him. So yeah, that's cool.
I know, right? Okay. So here's the deal. I have the stream here and I wanted to, or a picture that I wanted to add to the stage. And this is just our first, it's our first 4 games. So what we have going on is, of course, the Cincinnati game on August 28th at 9 p.m., which I was thinking about that because I'm on the East Coast. So that means the game's not going to get over till midnight if I were to be on the East Coast.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's a late game.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the late start either. I got the next day off, so that's cool, but it's tougher for people that, have to work and do things. But yeah, gets at prime time. It's great visibility Thursday. I think it's great for that aspect. But yeah.
It's the game to watch August 28th. So that's the most important thing. Just to keep that in mind. We're going to talk about that game. We're also going to talk about the Akron game on September 6th at 7:30 p.m., which I love a night game. Give me as many night games as possible. And then the third quote unquote cupcake game is against Houston Christian on September 13th at noon. So Fred, I know that I gave you a little heads up and said, we're going to talk about these games. And you said, well, then I'm going to do a little recognizance and start doing some research on them. What did you find on these 3 opponents?
Well, schematically, Cincinnati runs what they call a multiple offense, but they do like a lot of trips. It's wide receivers spread out, tight ends spread out, a lot of multiple tight end sets. But then they also try and run zone plays. And it sounds like everything or a lot of what they do is run pass option stuff. So it's like, okay, so just basically just people play their assignments. We can shut it down. Their defense, they're back to a 3-3-5 like we are, but then they have something called the star position. It used to be their linebacker. He was more of a rover, so he'd rove the middle or be a rush end. Well, now they've moved it to the secondary because their secondary sucks, I guess. So they took one of the safeties, and he's like the star, and he's a rover kind of in the middle of the field and up into the secondary. So they think it gives them flexibility. I don't really know much more about them than that. And it's just the transition nature of the game. Their coach, I think he's in his third year now. I think the same for that guy at Akron. I'm not sure about Houston Christian, but it's like, so it's kind of like us, everybody's a couple, 3 years in, still getting their feet wet. Again, 5-7, and they lost 5 straight at the end of the season. So wheels kind of fell off the wagon. They were giving up like almost 30 points a game, I think. So we should be able to score on them. I know we got to take them seriously. I saw a few people, we're not, 90s Huskers, but I'd be disappointed if that game was, in doubt in the fourth quarter.
Really? Interesting. I'm going to save, okay, I'm going to take this down real quick. And I'm going to save Cincinnati for the last game that we talked about, okay? Because I feel like the other two we can kind of get through a little quicker. So let's go ahead and start with the last of those 3 opponents, Houston Christian. So I didn't realize this, but Houston Christian didn't get on our schedule until October 25th of 2023. And you know what's very interesting about that particular date? It's a month before Matt Rule was hired.
Oh.
Yeah. So Matt Rule is holding these satellite camps there, right? What we used Houston Christian for. We pay them money to hold satellite camps so we can evaluate talent. That's how we got David Hofkin.
The give of the giant knee circumference. Yes, I remember.
Exactly. And so I'm just laughing because
Pitt.
I know. Well, Melissa's here. Hey, now it's a party. Hey, Melissa's here. And then Pitt's here. He says, I think Minnie muted me. I did not give you never muted you. I don't know what he's talking about. Give me the bird if I'm wrong, Fred. He is wrong, I swear. And Roger, absolutely, you're right. You're 100% right. Okay, so Houston Christian. This is the thing that I like, because I love looking at what other people comment on, who we're playing and what the OGs like you and Santa Claus have to say. And they're like, are we sure we're playing against a college or is this a high school?
It's the right? Whatever they call it, the FCS. They're the notch down below us, but yeah.
There's not. Let's just put it this way: when you go to their website, it doesn't have a whole lot of information. Even the school's website. When you look like just the head coach up, it's hard to find information on him. But I did find out we are the only FBS school that they play against on their schedule. So that's fair. I think it's pretty fair to say that is going to be kind of a cupcake game.
Well, it's a good payday for them. So that's good. They get some money, and exposure.
Yeah, exactly. So then we move on to Akron. So Houston Christian, first time we've ever played them. Akron, well, we tried to play them not too many years ago, but we also played them back in 1997.
Oh, yeah, back in the olden days.
Oh, is this sparking some memories?
A little bit, yeah.
1997. Little Fred must have been, what, 22?
I don't know. he was happy and had a future back then. I know that much. But yeah, I was younger.
Okay. Well, let's see if this rings a bell because back in 1997, we beat them. What was it? 54-14.
I believe so. I think that's the game where Joel Makovica like ran over 3 people from 2 yards out and just kept rolling. It was pretty phenomenal. Yeah, that was. I was 55 back then, Chuck. 55, not
I
56.
love that he said that. He's calling you out. And okay, Nebraska strong. I get it. You're preaching to the choir here, okay? He says, Minnie, there are no cupcake games in today's college football with transfer portal. I totally get that. We've looked at their team. We've looked at their coaches. There's just not a whole lot of information. And I'm not going to sit here and lie to you guys and be like, yeah, we're definitely going to win, 12-0, like some other hosts on Thursday night might do that. I'm going to give you the facts, okay? And in my opinion, Houston Christian just doesn't have the size and talent that Nebraska does. So yeah, any team can be beat on any given day. I agree. But we're just saying, should they be considered a cupcake game? And in my opinion, yes.
Of the three, I would say they're the least cupcake. They're in the Big 12. They were good a few years back. I think they hit the playoff. So it's like they're not that Houston team. Akron is still in transition. So I'll admit that they're not a cupcake, but to me, that's a game that, I don't know, somebody was a big, we got to earn it thing a few weeks back on one of the shows, but it's like, that's a game we should still win.
You're talking about Cincinnati. You're talking about Cincinnati.
Yeah, Cincinnati. Yeah.
Okay. Real quick, what?
Oh, real quick, Sean Flaherty. This is from J.C. Penney's back in 2000. So it's a bit older shirt. It's vintage, like me.
Sean Flaherty, where'd you get that polo from? Nice. It is. It's a beautiful polo. With it does scream like 80s, 90s style.
Still fits too, which is crazy. So yeah.
It is. Okay, so we're talking about Akron, and Akron Zips are the name. They're the Zips. I don't even know what a Zip. What do you suppose a Zip mascot looks like? I don't even know.
I don't know. It's probably like the same thing as what's a grit. Like, I don't know what a grit is either, but it's probably like a lightning bolt or some fast creature.
Which maybe that's why we had the lightning happen 7 years ago.
Oh, that actually looks like a kangaroo. I don't know. I greggled it. I'm sorry. Yeah, that could be. Yeah, they called the lightning down and then put the curse on us, and
they put the curse on us. Okay, so they're the Akron Zips. We have played them before, and we beat the pants off of them in 1997. They probably don't want to remember that game, but also 7 years ago when Scott Frost was his first game, they came to Memorial Stadium and there was a storm. And Sean Eichhorst, I read this. I don't know if this is 100% true because obviously I have not seen the contract. But Sean Eichhorst, apparently coming from Florida, he just copied and pasted the contract from Florida. And he said, if there is a tropical storm, then, we don't have to pay you. So what ended up happening is we ended up having to pay them, what was it, $650,000 just for showing up and not playing us.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, Eichhorst was a real peach. Yeah, he was. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. So, this is the second time we've actually gotten to play them, and There's, again, not a whole lot on them. They have a bowl ban. They weren't eligible last year either. They had an academic probation last year, but
Yeah,
they're the first team to have a bowl ban since 2014.
yeah, they're not great. I think they were 4-8 last year. You know, it's like everybody else. They try to do pistol spread up tempo, and it just, you know, and the MAC is the MAC, but I think just from looking at their results, they're kind of to the lower tier of the MAC. So to me, that's pretty close to cupcake territory. If they've had bans and they've had some other things, they're going to be depleted personnel wise. So that should be, you know, that should be when we should take care of business. Night game too, everybody's going to be drunk. They'll be all fired up. It'll be loud. They'll play Thunderstruck before the fourth quarter. Akron won't know what to do.
They'll be shaking in their boots.
That's it.
Running scared like a zip should.
That's it. They will. No good
I love
zips.
it. You know, they had practice reductions all last season. They couldn't even practice together. So what does that tell you?
Yeah. Again, no cohesion. It'll hurt them. So, yeah. And then their head coach, I can't remember his name, but yeah, there's that guy. And
yes, you do. I'll never forget it. Thank you so much.
That's what I do. I help people remember.
I know. I appreciate that. As I age, I'll be like, what's that Akron head coach's name?
And it's the same deal. He's only been there for a few years. So it's like everybody's kind of still getting their, you know, systems implemented and everything. And, you know, but I feel we have a more solid foundation. And especially if they're coming off some different sanctions and whatnot, that should be a game we can take care of them.
I think you're right. I think you're right. Not necessarily a cupcake. Again, not saying they are definitely a cupcake. I'm just saying we should. It's a good way to put it. And then Tony says every Big Ten team should play a MAC team. Help them pay their bills.
Not a bad idea. And the proximity for most of them, it's right here in the Midwest. So you could get a few of them, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Roger wants to change the subject and start talking about turf. All he cares about is what we're doing. He's like, I don't care about our opponents. Jeez. Okay.
And Matt, you are correct. We are a cupcake to most teams, yes. Or many teams.
Oh, did he really just say that?
Matt said it. He's realistic like I am. A little jaded, a little frustrated.
Oh my gosh. She's not nice. Who invited you, Matt? I'm kidding.
I don't know, but I bet he's a terrible person. So
I'm sure. Jeez. Well, you guys, what was shocking to me is because I thought, okay, we're going to just breeze through these first three teams. And I thought, okay, let's just talk about them so we can move on to conference opponents. Okay. Then I come across Cincinnati, and I feel like there's a lot of talk out there that is trying to make us Husker fans feel like what Matt is saying. Okay? Matt, that we are not always a cupcake team, especially going forward in this season, FYI. We have another person.
James Boardman.
Is that who that is?
No, I'm just saying the big red velvet cupcake. That's great.
Oh my God. Red velvet. It's a yummy flavor.
I think that's the training table at Iowa for the cheerleaders, actually. Bunch of big red velvet cupcakes.
Oh my gosh. We need to stop. And yes, Melissa's right. Cincinnati, they were good when Fickle was there. She's right. I mean, they went to the college football playoffs. You know, they sucked, but it was kind of a fluke. Luke Fickle shouldn't even be a Big Ten coach, in my opinion. You're welcome, Tony. And Joe Lakis says Huskers will beat Cincinnati 38-24. Ooh, good call out. I like that. we're going to add Big Red Machine. Hello, Big Red Machine. Let's see. I'm going to unmute your mic. If I can.
Boardman's killing it. Mississippi mud cupcakes for Iowa.
Oh, I can. Try and unmute your mic and then.
Yeah, Big Red Machine looks like he's muted himself.
Yeah. And come back onto the stream. All right.
Pitt likes a woman that's shaped like a cupcake. That's a thing I just read. So that's something.
Did he really say that?
Yes, he did. 8:40.
Oh my gosh. Pitt, what is wrong with you? Are you just hungry?
So you guys in the chat are crazy. It's like, man, it's just, you're wild. You need to straighten up. It's terrible.
Oh my gosh. My grandmother was part Native American Indian, and my uncle used to say she was shaped like a teepee. Like, well, she had 8 children. What do you expect? But shaped like a cupcake? I don't know if I've ever heard that one before.
That's a very strange build, but you know, you like what you like, Pitt. You do you.
All right.
Okay.
So, okay, Cincinnati. Last time we played them was in 1906. And we beat the pants off of them again, 41-0. You think, what are the chances of us doing that again? Look at this. Look at what Melissa just said.
Oh, that's on the high end. I don't know. We score that many points. I don't know. We could do predictions whenever. I'd say it could be like a 31-10 type of game, 31-13. Just my very limited knowledge. I don't know. Dylan probably throws a pick 6 at some point.
Watch it.
Maybe slides 2 yards short. I don't know. It's a lot of bad things for that kid out there. But who knows?
Okay. Let me give you a little background information.
Okay. Waiting for it.
I've got notes.
Oh, man.
Fred. Yeah. Here's the deal. Cincinnati, they haven't even had a practice facility until June 11th of this year. Their practice facility consisted of a building where one part of their team had to practice on the first floor, another team had to practice on the 7th floor. Like, it was like that. So they're all excited. They actually have state-of-the-art practice facility now.
It's like 134 million or something. It looked pretty cool. I mean, that's great, but they just now have it, and who knows?
Okay, that's not all. Okay, they have a quarterback. Watch me. You know I love Dylan. Okay.
He had some pretty luxurious hair and a headband when I saw him. I was waiting for,
Brendan Sorsby, the most gorgeous quarterback I've ever seen in my life. This kid, oh my gosh. If he didn't want to be a quarterback, he could be a model. He's gorgeous. I've never seen a kid that cute. Okay.
This is where we could use Greg with the sploosh module that pops up. Yeah, I was waiting for that. I didn't want to broach that subject, but I figured you'd get there. Yeah.
Because he's cute, right? He is so cute.
And he's not my type, but he's a handsome man, I guess. But yeah.
Where did he come from? I wanted to know. So I found out he used to be the quarterback at Indiana. He was drafted actually pretty high out of Texas.
Oh.
And even Melissa agrees. Yes. See? We know.
Hey. Boardman did it.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, so here's the deal. Here's the real deal. What I was saying is people like to poke the bear. CBS Sports analyst Bud Elliott said he picked Cincinnati as the 2025 Big 12 sleeper team of the year. And he said that Cincinnati could beat Nebraska in week 1.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, he probably said that like a lot of writers do. They like to take a shot at us, and then it gets some clicks. So that's all it is. I didn't even hear it. So that probably, not that I have my finger on the pulse, but that kind of shows that dude's probably irrelevant. So I don't care what he thinks. I mean, it's like I watched a handful of other season predictions of different people on the web, and a couple said it was a 50-50 game. And I could see that from the outside looking in, and I'm biased, but I just can't see it. Looking at what they did last year, they kind of had a collapse. Maybe they'll get better this year, but I think overall we have a better system and a better group in place. Got to get some better play out of our quarterback, of course, but other than that, and we should be able to solve our defense is tailor-made for what their offense does, because we're flexible with the 3-3-5, so we can handle the shifts and the tight ends and the trips formations that they set. So I'm not super concerned about that. And if our offensive line can hold up and not get hurt, I think Cincinnati has one giant D lineman. He's 6'1", but he's like 330. And it's like, so that guy's a wrecking ball, but what else do they got? So it's, I don't know about that Ryder. He's probably high on something.
Well, I have to tell you, that coach, Scott Satterfield, you're right, 3rd year, has gotten quite the array of talent, transfers. He has gotten a lot of what were touted as 4-star recruits out of high school to transfer to his team. So he has a tight end named Joe Royer, who's really great. Oh my gosh, this guy was really great last season. So you're talking about the defensive lineman. They nicknamed him the Godfather because his name is Dante Corleone. Yep. Okay, come on. You're Italian. Give me your best Italian accent with this, please.
No, I don't do that. I'll let you do it, because yours is so much better, even though it's not Italian. So
Dante Corleone, the Godfather.
There you go. Sound just like my grandma. So perfect.
The redshirt senior. And so he's in his 5th season, and he's been first team all Big 12 for 2 years in a row. He's from Cincinnati. This guy's been playing for Cincinnati the entire time. So he was recruited by Bickle originally. And then they got a couple of transfers. Matthew McDoom transferred from Coastal Carolina, defensive back, and Isaiah Johnson, a wide receiver junior from Western Carolina. I mean, these guys actually have proven stats. And then did I mention the Ethan Pryor, the running back that they have?
No, you didn't.
He was the 4th. I did?
No, you didn't. No, you didn't mention the running back.
Yeah, so he was the 4-star recruit. He had 75 touches last season, 6 touchdowns. But what's even more amazing is that they have, guys, I'm a Dillon fan. But their quarterback.
How many touches did Dillon have?
Stop it. Their quarterback had, oh my gosh, where did it go? He had 9 touchdowns, 9 rushing touchdowns. 9. I know, right?
Yeah, not a lot.
What? That's actually a lot more than what we had.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess, but I don't know. It doesn't wow me.
Okay. You're not wowed yet.
No,
by
I'm not
Cincinnati.
Wowed.
I'm so surprised.
No, I'm just jaded.
Are you jaded?
Gen Xer. Everything's just, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure he's impressive and all that, but just from what I've seen out of him, I don't think it's anything we should get deathly concerned about unless we get some kind of injuries early. in that game or something bad happens, I think we'll be okay against Cincinnati. Plus, and a factor that a lot of people don't take into account is that it's darn near a home game for us, going to be in Kansas City, 3 hours away. You know, even if it was or it's supposed to be Lucas Oil Field at one point, we'd still travel there, you know. So it's like it should be a home game environment for us at night. We'll be fine.
I like this. Taking me a little bit longer because I don't
Chuck
have
and
my
Matt
notes.
throwing down some knowledge. Look at them. Those guys are
Guys,
smart. They should have their own show.
Yes, they should. Or they could just come on this show and share it with us because I put the link in the chat. Hello. Matt says, I like our receivers this year. I love our receivers this year. We haven't even started to talk about that. Just wait till we do. And then Chuck, yeah, what do you guys like? Nebraska, real, true blue, true red Nebraska fans? Chuck Day says Butler was here last year and was pretty involved in the defense. Part of why White left. Do you believe, Chuck, that they only let us know a portion of what's going on? I truly believe that John Butler was hired to take over for Tony White. I think Tony White knew he was leaving. And he did as much coaching of the defense merging into that role as they would let him. That's not like I have conspiracy theories or anything, but that's what I think.
No, that was the talk even back when Butler was hired. I mean, not so much that White was doing poorly or going to do poorly, but it was more of if he did get poached at some point, we'd have a guy that could be the DC in waiting. And I think that's what a lot of people thought. And then people thought, oh, well, maybe we were going to get somebody else. But I think it was always kind of planned that way, that we were just going to stick with Butler. I could be wrong, but that seems to be the plan.
Mm-hmm. Look at this. My BFF is agreeing with me again. First it was about the cute quarterback. Now it's about John Butler.
Somebody must have hacked
2 for 2.
Melissa, because normally she kind of counterpoints you a little bit. So
I know. She checks me.
if you're in
all the
danger,
time.
Melissa, blink twice.
That's kind of funny. You're not wrong. All right. Well, let me get to some of these comments here. And thank you, Roger Moore. He says clearance wine pairs well with a night game. Night games are my favorite, and yes, I will be having some clearance wine while watching those. What's your drink of choice when you're watching a Husker game?
Who, me?
Mm-hmm.
Everything. I don't know. Usually I just go with the red wine. I got Big Bold Red from Cellar 426. I always like that for Nebraska.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it's a good red. And failing that, I usually will drink some of the Nebraska beers like that are for nil, like Cornhead Lager or dear old Nebraska Brew from Zipline. So
I love your heart and intensity.
hey,
That is so great.
still a little bit left. So
refreshing. Yeah, they haven't drained it all.
No, we're at about, I don't know, got about 35% left. So we'll see what happens the next few years.
There we go. 35% battery power.
That's
He's
it.
holding on.
Matt's drinking Monaco's, which I don't doubt.
What's a Monaco?
Guy's a mess. Matt Sainer.
What's Monaco?
It's a delightful malt beverage that Matt really enjoys with his brother. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Okay. Sounds better than clearance wine.
Yeah, it's right up there with it.
Husker Bob says Cincinnati on one of the simulations went a couple overtimes. Oh, I love those. I love watching those. But honestly, they don't have all the information. Let's be honest.
I hadn't seen any of those. I saw a few when I was researching Cincinnati and the teams last night, but I didn't get a look at any of them. So I'm not sure how they rolled out.
Yeah, me either. And then Roger Moore says Cincinnati is not a given. I know. It's really not. Okay, let's just say, guys, let's just say that our defense doesn't shut them out. Let's just say that they're able to score a couple of times. I don't think our offense is going to be what the offense has been like in the past several years. I think we're going to be scoring 30 plus points every single game, and especially against, you know, opponents that have just smaller players. Overall, just smaller players.
And Holgerson's scheme is, well, again, it's cohesive versus what we had last year.
Mm-hmm.
So that alone probably gives us, I don't know, maybe 10 more points a game, modestly speaking, maybe even 13. So, yeah, again, that's the thing to feel good about. If we're coming in with the same OC as last year, you don't know what you're going to get. And by the way, their Satterfield is not related to ours, which I was hoping he was, because then I was thinking, well, basically we can just play basic football and he wouldn't be able to comprehend what's happening in front of him. But it's a different Satterfield, so he might be okay. But I think we still got him.
I think you're right. This is a good coach. This Satterfield brought Appalachian State to they were pretty good. And Appalachian State is nobody. And then he was head coach at Louisville. He did pretty good right before he took the Cincinnati job.
Mm-hmm.
So he has a pretty good track record. He knows what he's doing. Kind of like he reminds me a little bit of the University of New Mexico head coach, Scotty.
Oh, I can't think. I know what you're talking about.
Aldrin or something like that. Very similar. He really attacks it. He's gun-ho. He knows what he's doing. He has a plan. It's so much more difficult to have those winning football teams at smaller schools. I mean, he'll do just fine for Cincinnati, but not against a Big Ten opponent. That's what I think.
And I think, like Big 12 wise, I think they finished 11th, but there's like 16 teams now in the Big 12, so still they're in the bottom, chunk right there.
Yeah, I mean they did actually pretty good last year. Like you said, they did 5-7, but they had, I think, 5 games where it reminded me of Nebraska, where they lost by like 3 points or less, or
they
4
started
points
pretty
or
well, and then just maybe they had injuries. I didn't dig deep into them to know what happened, but they just fell off a cliff after that last stretch. And they'll be better, and they'll be healthy coming in, and they have the most beautiful quarterback in the world, according to Minnie. So there's that. I don't know if that'll be a factor in the game, but somebody should probably tell Dylan and, cause a little bit of discord. But, yeah.
You never know. It could be a factor. There's such a thing as, what do they call it? My neighbor calls it pretty privilege.
It's just called look like Tarzan, fight like Jane. So I agree with Husker Chuck. His prediction is roughly what I was thinking.
What
like
is he
31-17, 38-13, somewhere in there. And that's on the conservative side. We might be able to score a few more against them, but I think that's a safe bet. First game of the season, right out of the gate.
I don't think they're scoring more than 17 against us. I can't see that. Only because the wide receivers that they have, I mean, they are proven from other teams, but they haven't had the type of practices together. They're all new. And like I said, their practice facilities just now, they're being able to practice in it. So it just doesn't help to make more, the cohesive team that you want.
Yeah. And there's a lot of factors going against them. And again, we'll have the crowd advantage. It'll be at night. It'll be wild, It'll be cool. I'd like to be there, but I'm poor and stuck here, so I'll watch on TV like everybody else.
Yeah, and have some big red wine.
Oh,
Is that
big
what
bold
you said?
red. Yeah. Big bold red.
Big bold red wine.
You
That
better quit
sounds yummy.
stealing Pitt's insults. He's getting upset.
What?
I don't know.
Roger Moore says, so new turf this year and going to a grass field next year. That's the word on the street, as far as I know. Anybody else?
That's what I've heard as well. I haven't really followed it. It'll be nice, though, I think, with the grass. I don't know. They say supposedly it doesn't have any impact on injuries. I still think it does because it seems like even with our field turf, which was a little more pliable than the old-fashioned AstroTurf that you could break your ankles off in just making a move, I still think that grass and dirt has more give and should theoretically, hopefully, cut down on some of the injuries we would see.
Yeah, I don't think Dylan did throw any pick sixes on Dylan or last year. No, actually, I can't think of any.
Maybe he didn't.
Imagine that.
Oh, grass in 2026. So
Next year.
yeah, nice.
It will be. Look at Melissa. She's like, nope. Nope, he did not. She knows right off the top of her head.
This is
I am
becoming
so
a Dylan
impressed.
apologist, apparently.
I love it.
I'm sad. I don't know Melissa at all anymore. It's kind of deflating, but
Okay. Matt, that's a great question.
ooh,
I'm willing to go there for a second. Okay. Just for a second, guys.
just a
We're not
second.
going to entertain this any longer than a second. If we have another mediocre season, will Dylan stay? Okay, so if this season is mediocre, meaning what, 6-6? Okay. Will Dylan stay? It depends on how those losses are made. If they're totally out of our control. Although, you know what? Now that I think about it, glad you asked. Because no, he won't stay because we have the third easiest schedule in the Big Ten. Okay? Notes.
You
Again.
done did it now, Matt. You're looking at the paper. You're in trouble.
Maryland and Illinois are the only other teams that have an easier schedule than us. There's no reason that we should go 6-6. Okay? There's no reason we will have a mediocre season. So get that out of your head and we will move on.
You've been warned, Matt. It happened. So
Okay. All right. Really? James Boardman. I don't know what your middle name is, but I would use it right now. And he says Miami will take another run at him. You
James, another OG doubter. Wasn't it just, I'm sure people in the chat would remember, wasn't that the rumor that after this season that they were trying to like come at him with some money? It could just be.
No, this is not just a rumor. This is what Miami does. I don't know who Miami's rich uncle is, but they are writing checks left and right. They're paying so much money. They're setting the bar on all of these positions because they're desperate.
Well, they did pick up that Georgia quarterback, if I recall, that was pretty good. Then he's gotten like 2 sports cars going in the last 6 months down there. So,
Yeah. Don't you find that fascinating? That's the kind of stuff I wanted to talk about. Seriously. I want to talk about hair products quarterbacks use that get their hair just so, but also those sports cars that, why? If you're going to own a sports car like that, you need to come to Lincoln because guess what? It's not getting stolen. And if it is, it's going to come right back to you. There's hardly any crime in Lincoln.
And you got about 4 months that you can't drive it, but otherwise, the weather. But
yeah,
I agree with Chuck. Chuck is saying 9 for next year. 9 wins. It has to be 9 for me. 8 is what I would expect, but I would still be disappointed. So it's got to be 9.
Got to be 9. 3 possible losses, which would mean what? Penn State, Michigan.
State, Michigan. Possibly USC.
Or Iowa.
No, I don't think Iowa. Not this year. We got them in Lincoln, and I think this will be our Monster Mash game where we actually. Well, it's like this. If it's close, we'll lose, and that's just that. But we win, it'll be by at least 3 scores. That seems to be the way we have to break away from Iowa. So if it's close, we'll repeat it like we did the last 2 years where we lose off a field goal and get angry and I'll throw a chair. But it's like, I think this will be the year we finally break through off of them. So it'd probably be USC just because they got some playmakers. And, you know, if you count those, that could be the 3.
So Mo's obviously seen you throw a chair before, I'm assuming. Bless her heart. The new dogs, Fred. Fred has 2 new dogs, Tater and Willie. Cutest little doodle.
Mini poodles, something mixes. Yeah, we're not quite sure.
They're the cutest. I wish they could come and say hi.
Yeah, I don't know where they're at. Probably plotting my doom, but
this is their first year watching Dad as a Husker fan, so this will be interesting for them.
We're going to get them jerseys of some sort. We just got to figure out if we have to have them custom made or make them ourselves. So there will be jerseys on them.
Okay, so you said USC, Penn State, and Michigan. So you feel pretty confident going into Minnesota?
Yeah, I do. Not to upset Tony Lashin, but I think they've kind of plateaued in a way. And I don't know, it seems like Fleck's been there for a long time and it's just kind of, that's it. Like it's not going upward. Perhaps he could use some of Greg's Blue Chew, but they just don't seem to be making any progress. And who knows though, they do the Iowa thing to us. They play regular basic football and wait for us to choke. So if we can get out of that mode, we should win.
We need to. I 100% agree. We need to beat the pants off of PJ Fleck because he wears capri pants. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I beat the short pants off him as high waters. It's very, I don't know. There's a lot going on there.
Other than Kurt Signetti, there's no other Big Ten coach that I can think of that drives me crazy as much as him.
Yeah, he's just kind of weird. Signetti doesn't even bother me. I mean, he got his at the end. He thought he was hot shit when he beat us, and it turned out we weren't anything really of note. And then from that point on, you know, they got boat raced in the games that they played teams that were just better. And there'll be no element of surprise anymore for him. So
never again.
And how many of his James Madison guys are gone, I'm not entirely sure, but he brought like 13 with or 12. You know, so if any chunk of those guys are gone, there goes that. You know, so he was lightning in a bottle. He caught us at our very worst. And then, you know, yeah, whatever. Good for him. He's doing something to get a little of attention, but it's like, how long is that going to last? I don't know it's sustainable. He'll probably be there a couple more years and be gone.
Really? You think that?
I think so, yeah.
I don't know. There's a lot of Indiana fans that are getting really behind their football team. Kind of very similar to what, you know, Rutgers fans got a taste of what it might feel like to win.
Yeah, it's fleeting though. I can't see it. We'd see it every now and again. K-State or Kansas would spike up in the Big 12 or Big 8, and then, you know, they'd be a bunch of people for like 2 games or 2 seasons, and then they'd go right back where they belonged. And it depends on what the university's commitment is to football too. I mean, he may light enough of a fire to where they're going to start kicking more nil towards the football program, but you just don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And some of that 20.5 million. So Husker Chuck says USC and UCLA are playing us after a bye week. So we are going to UCLA and USC is coming to Lincoln.
Mm-hmm.
And they both have bye weeks prior to playing them. But it's later in the season.
Yeah. I
If we can
feel
stay
better
healthy.
about the UCLA game because I think that was one of those. I think Haas and Greg were talking the other day about like that was just like the inexplicable loss. Like how did that occur? USC, I could buy it a little bit more because they at least have a little bit better players. I think the coach is better, that type of thing. But yeah, I don't know. I would hope we could win both of those, but you just don't know with us still. We're still a little bit unknown in some of the areas.
You have to realize, though, we didn't have the offensive coordinator that we have now. And our offensive coordinator that we have is a proven play caller. He just will get points on the board. So that's what we needed. We desperately needed that at USC. I vaguely remember the UCLA game because I don't like traumatic events, remembering them. But I do remember, USC was it just slipped out of our hands. I don't even know how it happened.
Yeah, it was, both of them were just, that was just that mode where we were still doing Nebraska things. We were giving up the long runs to that UCLA quarterback who looked like that's like as long as he had ever run in his entire life. And 65-yarder at one point, it's just looking like as fast as I am. It was painful, and we just, I don't know. It was just those breakdowns we occasionally have. But I think overall having Holgerson will help nail down that offense. At least it'll make sense. The defense, we lose some guys on the line, and that hurts, losing Nash and Robinson. But indeed, James, indeed.
Our coordinator to begin the season was offensive. Yeah. We'll never forget that one for sure. At least not as long as I'm here. I won't let that happen. All right. Nebraska Strong says, can we cut down on false starts and holding penalties, please? How do you feel about that on our offensive line?
I'd like to see if we could. I mean, every year we think it's going to be better, and it's not. But a couple of the guys that are going to age out of the program will finally be gone, and there's some of the guys that were responsible for that type of behavior. And I don't know. I think it'll be better. I mean, I don't know like what Spindler did when he was at Notre Dame, if he was, a penalty machine or not. We know about Pritchett off the field, and that's all I'll say about that. But it's like some people said Pritchett was like Alabama's Corcoran, allegedly, but they're facing some pretty tough people down there. So maybe he's, and I listened to some of his interviews, and he sounds like he's really buying in and going to kick ass. So hopefully he does and keeps in his pants and doesn't get any diseases. But yeah, I think overall it should be a more cohesive unit. It's just a matter of what Raiola can do with them. And a lot of people still, I don't know, it still seems like it's split on Donovan, Raiola's O-line coach. Like, I don't know, Rule kept him for a reason, and I hope it wasn't just for Dylan. So
it wasn't. It wasn't. A lot of his cheerleading came from Marcus Satterfield.
And that's
exactly what they said. Is he's basically of the same mind as those guys, reading the same book, has the same terminology, has the same mindset. The only problem is Donovan isn't proven, right?
Yeah.
So he does need to prove himself. I absolutely agree with you on that. And it's his 4th year now in the program. So yeah, we would like to see some proof that he is the coach we think he is, and that is to eliminate these false starts and penalties.
And they're trying to get him the tools to get it done. You know, some portal guys through the line, you know, on the line. It's like they're doing the best they can. But yeah, it's got to be something. If we have another year of this and it's the same just mishmash of penalties and confusion, it's like, are we really getting anywhere? You know?
Okay. Melissa says, I also think the kid from Missouri will break out. And I think is she talking about Isaiah Mosey? Freshman? Or who's she talking about?
No, don't we have a linebacker, a D end that we got through the portal or something from Missouri Tigers? I can't remember. There's a guy.
Yes, we did.
He's like a tall D end, like a hybrid guy or like a edge rusher linebacker type or something.
No, yeah, she said D.
The D end. Yep, that guy.
Let's just.
Noineri. Yeah.
Right. Noineri. That's right. Good call, Greg.
Wow.
Greg is on it. Greg's never on it. No, Greg never knows any of this stuff.
He's like Han Solo at the end of Star Wars, where he comes in and saves the day.
I've got it. I got the answer.
Narwhal knee.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I can't believe he just did that. He came in like that. I
can't either. He's prepared and he's not even here. I'm expecting a top-notch performance on Thursday. I'm not even lying.
He better come prepared. Actually, you know what he told me today? He's probably not even going to be there.
Oh.
Or he'll be late. He'll be late. He's going to be there.
Okay.
So I expect all you guys to be there. Okay? Because I'll be there.
He used up a lot of wattage to find that player from Missouri, so he's probably got to rest between now and then.
Nebraska Strong, Go Big Red says, we need Raiola to cut down on the interceptions. 11 and 13 games is not good enough. Hey. Well, whose fault is that?
The quarterback.
Okay. And who else is?
Last year, you could also chalk it up a little bit to the wide receivers. There were some poorly run routes. Tobey Maguire, Spider-Man, the wide receiver coach, wasn't that great. You had Satterfield's offense that made no sense. So there was a little bit of blame to go around. So I will give you that much on that. But still, he's the one pulling the trigger. So, and if he wants to be a leader, he's got to, and he's accepted it. He's not done a Shedeur Sanders and thrown his team under the bus. He stood up, he took it like a man. And so I give him credit for that as a true freshman. Showed a lot of poise. What's that word? Poise, Minnie? Is that the one?
That's the one.
That's the one. Thought so.
Nice.
Tony, the quarterback, final answer. Good, Tony. He gets it.
You're just trying to make me as uncomfortable as possible, aren't you?
Nope. I'm just along for the ride.
Well, I say it was a lack of blocking, which I don't believe is going to be the case this season. I think that we have worked on blocking so much that it's a given.
Yeah, Chuck's right. Those guys are jerks, doing their job. Terrible.
They have some nerve, don't they?
Good one, Boardman. We'll get her eventually.
Mm-hmm. Well, you guys, I appreciate you all being here because I want this to be like just a big hug, a Husker hug community.
Way to make it weird at the end, but that's good.
That's what I do. I could talk about this, or I could talk about the cute quarterback at Cincinnati. Which would you prefer?
Whichever. Whatever floats your boat.
All right. He's cute, trust me. Anyways, I just wanted to say thank you for being here. And thank you, Fred, for also coming on board and helping me out tonight and contributing and doing research. Geez, that's more than Greg does. Just FYI.
I know, it's crazy. 4 Google searches and I found all kinds of stuff that anybody else could have found. But,
Yeah, get that, Greg.
Dedication.
Anyway, I want to thank you for being here and also welcome you back. I think there's actually a show coming on tomorrow night for Andy's doing a show, but also Thursday night, don't forget, there will be a Five Heart podcast. And you never know. You guys actually had threatened with doing a Five Heart Theater. I know you have said it several times that you were going to write one.
I wrote one, and I would even probably play you, and I would probably play your character better than you. I've already got it. It's all up here, but yeah, someday.
Well, you're welcome to come on and try.
I don't know if I have props or anything like that, but I think I could put something together.
You did well tonight. I can't thank you enough. And I thank everybody else for being here. And is there anything you wanted to add, Fred?
Yeah, Greg just caught a shot, stray from, I don't know. I don't think I shot at Greg. Minnie must have took a shot at him. And yeah, sorry, Greg. I tried. You know how she gets, though. I don't want to end up on the bad list. She'll call me fat and bald and old and all the things she says to you. It's terrible.
Look at how well Greg, take notes. Look at how well he's put together. Okay? Take notes. Anyways, I will see you guys. I'll see you on Thursday, and go Big Red.
See you, everybody.